The RSVP that costs her everything. Listen, I've always been the guy who keeps things simple. I'm not flashy, I don't need the spotlight, but I do respect a clear agreement. My cousin Sarah, though, she treats life like an all-you-can-eat buffet that someone else is always picking up the tab for. Last weekend was my promotion dinner. A big deal, right? I booked a quiet, upscale bistro for 8 people, just family. I was very specific in the group text. This is on me, let's keep it intimate. 10 minutes before I walk in, I see Sarah in the lobby. She's not alone. She has 4 of her work friends with her. People I've never met, people I didn't invite. Hey, I hope you don't mind, she chirps, not even looking me in the eye. These guys were free, and I thought, why not turn it into a party? I looked at the manager, I looked at the 4 strangers, and I looked at Sarah. My voice was calm, but let me tell you, it was ice cold. The reservation is for 8, Sarah, not 8 plus 5. Oh, don't be such a total buzzkill, she laughed, waving them toward the table. Just pull up some chairs. It's a celebration. I didn't argue. I didn't make a scene. I had just signaled the waiter, and I whispered 3 words into his ear. The night was a masterclass in entitlement. Sarah and her entourage didn't just pull up chairs, they took over. They ordered the premium appetizers, top shelf tequila, and the most expensive steaks on the menu. Sarah kept leaning over to my mom saying, isn't it great when the successful cousin treats us? Meanwhile, I just sat there. I ate my salad. I watched the bill climb higher and higher. When the server finally approached with that leather folder, the table went silent. You know that moment where everyone suddenly gets very interested in the ceiling? The server set the folder down in front of me. Are we ready, sir? Yes, I said, with a smile that didn't reach my eyes. But we're doing this a little differently tonight. I looked directly at Sarah. She was midway through a glass of $40 wine. I'm paying for my immediate family, I announced, loud enough for the whole table to hear. Sarah, since you decided to host your own surprise group, I assumed you wanted to cover your own guests. Sarah's hand froze. Her friend stopped laughing. What do you mean? She stammered. I said, sliding the folder toward her. Separate checks. Everything I didn't personally order is on your tab. The silence was deafening. You could hear a pin drop. I don't have that kind of money on me, she whispered, her face turning a deep, blotchy shade of red. You said you were treating, she hissed. I said I was treating my family, I corrected. I didn't realize I was financing a random work happy hour. One of her friends chimed in. This is super tacky, man. We're guests. I looked her dead in the eye. You're not guests, you're intruders. I don't even know your names. I laid down my card for my portion, stood up, and leaned in close. The steak tastes way better, Sarah, when you actually pay for it yourself. I walked out of that restaurant while her friends were frantically trying to scrape together cash they clearly didn't have. My phone blew up for hours with messages about how I was petty and ruined the vibe. I didn't reply to a single one. I just sat on my patio, sipped a drink I actually earned, and finally enjoyed the silence. Subscribe now for unforgettable stories with unexpected endings.